Hey everyone, welcome to round two of Branch Out. Got a lot of great questions from all of you, so I'm going to try to kind of rapid fire these off and hopefully answer all of them. A lot of people were most interested in growth at Acacia, so we have a few questions surrounding that. The first one is, what are your next locations ideally? I think we would really love to finish out our work at all of the UCs. There's four large UCs remaining: UC Berkeley, Irvine, Santa Cruz, and Riverside. So we would love to be at all four of those, potentially even USC. Yeah, would also really love to help out Merced. It's a little bit more challenging there because we're not too sure we can get the referrals that we would need to succeed. But we definitely want to try to make it work, and are in talks with some people over there to see what we can do. We also have a couple schools that we're working with in Minnesota. I can't yet disclose the names of those, but hopefully soon. And we are looking to outsource their entire counseling center. It would be a kind of a different model for us, but something that we're really excited about. Someone commented, Acacia, Hawaii, please. Yes, if anyone has any connections to Hawaii's counseling center, please let me know, because I wouldn't mind making that happen as well. If you opened an office in a city you know you'd want to move to, where would it be? Well, I personally have always loved the Bay Area, so that having some place at UC Berkeley or San Francisco is one of my favorite cities, so I would love to be there. I also have a special place in my heart for Madison, Wisconsin. That's where I did my undergrad, so who knows, maybe we'll get there someday. Is Acacia getting a matching coffee company? Acacia Ground Roots, A Cafe, Acacia Coffee and Counseling. Awesome ideas. Actually, I have approached one of our building owners about potentially putting a coffee shop in the front portion, and trying to find some way to partner with Acacia. Maybe for every cup of coffee someone buys, we donate 30 cents or whatever to Roots. I like the Acacia Ground Roots name, so whoever thought of that, nice work. Maybe I'll have to give you royalties on that. Is an Acacia app happening in the future? Yes, we are fairly confident that we can get this done. It's a big project that we're working on this year. Actually, we're in talks with a friend of mine actually who does a lot of coding, and we've also just recently hired someone to basically promoted someone to head up our teletherapy program, and I think the Acacia app will be a part of that. So look out for that announcement soon. Where does Acacia ideally imagine itself being in 3 years? I think we have already started to kind of plot out, after we do what we want to do in California, to maybe move into some other states. We've looked at Texas, Florida, New York, Ohio, most states that have just a lot of schools that are there and needing our help. So, I think we still have a lot of kind of research to do in that direction, but I think ideally in 3 years we might be at, 3-4 other states. Employee and benefits questions. One person asked if an Acacia staff-wide retreat would ever be possible, and her vote is for Portugal. I'm guessing I know where this came from. Hi, Kelsey and Julian. We would love to do a staff-wide retreat. I imagine we'd have to increase quite a bit in size to make that happen. But that would be very cool. What are the top 3 things Brett and Keith look for in their employees, and what are their top 3 pet peeves? I think ultimately we're looking for someone who is really passionate about serving college students. I think that's fairly obvious since that's what we do, but we aren't looking for people to just go in and do therapy. We're looking for people that really like connecting with that group. I think since we are a rapidly growing company, we do like to see, from people maybe some kind of instance of feeling like they want to grow with the company, some loyalty towards the company, just what we're doing, believing in us. So I think those are all important things. And then certainly just, staying organized on top of your notes and charge slips and all of that becomes really helpful. Being a team player, we really try to make sure that each office has its own, good vibes, and we want people that want to participate in that as well. In terms of top 3 pet peeves, Well, I mean, certainly when we don't get charge slips back, that's hard because that's how we generate revenue. So please get your charge slips done. Um, what else? Yeah, I mean, obviously, just like some of the things that I talked about before, just willingness to go to staff meetings and case consultation and talk to your neighbors. Make sure that your notes are done. I'll say, another big thing is just making sure that your sessions are up, especially for people who are on salary. That's really important for us because, again, we're pretty low margin. So if we don't get those sessions up to meet that the salary that we're paying, we end up, losing money on that. So just being conscious and aware that, yeah, we do need to, increase capacity in order to make this a success. Might Acacia be willing to subscribe to JSTOR or some other academic database so we can have access to research articles? I'm not quite familiar with that database, but yeah, again, this is something that I believe when I've talked with other schools that provide this, it's quite an investment. If someone knows more about this, feel free to let me know. But I think the kind of investment we would need to make would have to come at a point where we were, massively larger. So maybe 3 or 4 times the size of what we are now. But I could be wrong. If they're cheap enough, we certainly would be willing to provide that as a benefit to the staff. Some fun questions. If Keith and Brett could have done one thing differently with Acacia up to now, what would it be? Huh. I think probably for us just being cognizant of our growth rate. When we opened the Davison, Minnesota offices at the same time a couple of years ago, that was just a hard year for Keith and I personally because we didn't get paid anything, and it was just yeah, it was challenging. I think my wife Stephanie, who also works at Acacia, I think she would have preferred if I could have brought in a little bit more earnings. So I think now we're at a point where we've stabilized, quite a bit, and now we can grow while not taking away from our own salaries or other people's salaries, and try to make sure that we're continuing to provide increased benefits and things like that. What breed of dog best exemplifies the characteristics Acacia aspires to? Well, I'm a little biased in this. I would say a golden retriever because I have a golden retriever and I love him to death. So yeah, that would be the breed of dog that I think would represent the characteristics. Someone who's playful, fun, yeah, like just loyal to the mission. Yeah, and just that's what comes to my mind. What inspired you to be a therapist? Yeah, good question. Kind of a few different things. That I've always had a dual interest in business and then also in psychology. And when I was an undergrad, I was a first generation college student, so I didn't really know what to do when I got to school, and so I was advised by someone to just take a bunch of classes and see which ones sort of led my heart to the ones that I liked the most. And so I ended up taking a psychology class and really falling in love with it. And I think it was a combination of that and continuing to take psychology courses, as well as getting my own mental health treatment when I was in college. I faced some hard times back then, and it was difficult for me to get access to a therapist. And so, yeah, I think that those two things kind of inspired me to be a therapist, and also, inspired us to start Acacia. What would you be doing now if you never met Dr. Keith? I'd probably be opening a bunch of businesses that are really great ideas but would soon fail because I would not be able to stay organized enough to make them actually work. So Keith and I are a really great kind of yin and yang presence. I think Keith always jokes around that I'm the whoa, 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 or I'm the go, 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 and he's the whoa, whoa, whoa guy. So we have a great dynamic, and I think both of us would be fairly lost without each other. So, which office is your favorite? Oh, come on. Y'all know I can't divulge that. I love all of you equally. I will say there's some pretty cool decorations, and I like the newer offices that we have in Westwood and La Jolla. But some of that is just because, yeah, we got some really good deals from the building owners, got some great kind of investment from them in terms of our TI improvements. But also Corby, if all of you don't know, does a great job with decorating the offices. So if you need a little touch up on your end, you should email Corby and see what he can do. And then finally, if you had to get a tattoo that symbolized acacia without it being the tree, what would that tattoo look like? So I am a tattoo guy. I've got a few tattoos. I've got one on my forearm. I've got another one up here, and then I've got one on my ribs as well. But so I've thought about getting the acacia tree tattoo before, and maybe that'll happen someday. But without it being the tree, I don't know, I'd probably pick some sort of abstract tattoo that represents growth and development, or I don't know, something like that. I'd have to give that some more thought, I suppose. But all right, hopefully that was helpful. Really enjoyed reading all of your questions, and hope you enjoyed listening to some of these answers. And look forward to the next time. Keep these questions coming. I think it's a great way for me to connect with you all and kind of hear a little bit about what you're interested in. And we'll certainly try to keep everyone updated of all the growth plans moving forward. Keep on keeping on. Until next time.